And then as soon as I hit this other button here, we're live on Facebook and YouTube. You guys see some new faces here. We'll get to that in a minute. We got a guy waiting in the wings. I'm getting ready to go live on Instagram, and then I'm going to hit this intro.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, William Bookwalter. Bill Bookwalter will call the shots.
Here I stand, innocent and lost, broken limbs, prove that I am guilty by dissociation, or an accessory. Guilty by dissociation, or an accessory.
CHKM8 MMA.
Oh, we're back live on the internet. I'm still sharing shit out because I'm behind as usual. Fight Show episode 74, powered by Checkmate Specialty Roasters. Getting through here. Got some new faces down there in the corner. We'll get to that in a minute because that is not... No, Tanner did not shave his mustache and his hair. That's our new friend, Jeff Geller. Keep an eye out for him. If you are in our community, you're going to be seeing some wrestling content from him as well. And this guy over here on my right, or depending on how Facebook has it set up or whatever, on my left maybe, and depending on where you're at, BDBW, I don't know what that one means, but I think it's Big Dick Bill Bookwalter. Man,
no,
it
means Big Deal Bookwalter.
Big deal.
I don't know
I
where
thought it was Big Difference. Big difference on your betting account. As always, with a mug of beer in his hand, he's got the Diego Lopez shrine going on.
Wait, I do?
I'm surprised.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
this? I forgot that was
Wednesday.
there.
That's a normal
I forgot that
Bill's
was
kitchen. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I forgot that was there. What, this? And oh, by the way, to everybody in internet land, the B mime is for Diego Lopez's hair, not the man. So I'm very jealous of the hair. I could take over the world if I had hair like this.
I mean, you technically do have hair like that. You just have to wear it on your head. It's not natural.
Doors open when you have hair like that.
But speaking of Fight Show, it being episode 74, we'll get to the magnificent backstory of Jeff Geller here shortly in a minute. We got somebody waiting in the wings. I say waiting in the wings. The guy was here at the first episode of Fight Show.
Oh.
Now he's here on the 74th episode of Fight Show. He's, according to his Instagram bio, we did a great intro for him last time. This time, we'll just read his Instagram bio because it works. Dad, BJJ, pro MMA, husband, soldier, culinary extraordinaire, yoked as fuck, hood rat, and 100% will fight you. Current Operation Octagon Hall of Fame, Virginia MMA legend, former CFFC lightweight champion, sharing that honor with the likes of Paul Felder and others. I present to you a friend of the show, a friend of ours, and honestly, if you follow his stuff on Facebook, it's like being friends with Tim Kennedy, but he's only shorter. Our favorite Marine husband, Mike POPEZILLA Pope. Black belt's black belt. Episode 1 to episode 74. It's still dark in Mike's house. He's still in the fucking car. Thanks for coming back, buddy. We appreciate you.
If you give me like 10 minutes, I will be somewhere with a lot more light. So the struggles
we don't need light to hear the sound of your magnificent voice. It's the struggles of being a yoked as fuck hood rat who 100% will fight you.
Exactly. Yeah, listen, I actually had to put that in my Instagram bio because I would get in arguments with people on like Instagram, and I'm like, square up.
Bro,
you guys want
the best part of me inviting you, the best part of you being in the Checkmate family and you being in the Checkmate network is consistently watching people argue with you about the rules of MMA, like you're not a pro fighter you literally have purple. I saw somebody arguing with you about jiu-jitsu the one day, bro, and you have fucking purple belts under. You have your own purple belts. So I think they should probably shut the fuck up, much like the rest of the internet.
It's wild too because the MMA community has gotten so toxic, and at least like back in the day, but kind of like before everybody got into Facebook arguments and stuff like that, there was like a level of I think respect amongst, because a lot of guys that liked MMA were guys that fought. The UFC wasn't still quite that big yet, and now you have a lot of very casual fans, and they have a lot of opinions, and a lot of times their opinions are absolute trash. And it's funny to be told like, oh, you're just a casual. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm such a casual. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, buy some guy with a beer gut, or has never once stepped foot in a gym before.
Yeah. That's 85% of the fan base. I'm convinced.
Yep.
I'm convinced nobody even knows how the rules are fucking scored. You got guys in here claiming to be experts in the space. They don't know how a fucking fight's scored. That's why on this channel, as you know, as well as we hold everybody that makes the walk gets respect. We hold everybody in reverence. So it's why we have the reputations we do. It's why we're doing what we're doing in the fucking space. So I don't find it a real good idea to get on the internet, whether I'm in England or wherever the fuck I'm at, and say this guy sucks. Because even the lowest ranked heavyweight in the UFC who gasses out in the first round is still doing more than most of these guys on the internet. So feel free to argue with Mike Pope about I don't know, anything MMA related. The guy's got MMA credits going back to 2009. So I mean, feel free to he's been you know, choking his friends to get punched in the face for fun for over a decade and a half. So
speaking with, hey, I'm just going to drop some. Oh, my bad, Mike. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to drop in. I just want to talk about your mental headspace. You fought an ex-teammate, former teammate, still love the guy, named Mike Diggs. What year was that in? How are you still doing this? I had a whole MMA or a whole referee career. After you're still fighting? Like, how are you not mentally spent? Like, how are you still doing this? How old are you?
Dude,
You've been in the game for like 20 years.
Have you fucking seen him? First of all, I'm pretty sure, and I'm not saying this publicly, but I'm pretty sure he's on all the fucking steroids. I'm pretty sure Mike's on all the steroids, or he's lifting all the fucking weights. I don't know. He's yoked as fuck.
I wish I could afford all the steroids, but, you know.
Yeah, but like, how long have you been doing this?
12 million children, so. I actually,
what year was that?
I've been doing it 2006.
Oof.
So I did my first amateur. Yeah, it's weird because I was in a jiu-jitsu seminar, and I got mad at everybody for having fucked up belts, gi belts, and I was like, I dated myself. But I've been doing this since, and I did the math, 19 years. Next year will be 20 years. I'm like, shit, I've been doing this for longer than some of the guys watching the UFC have been alive.
Yeah.
So,
damn, man. Yeah. What?
Mike Diggs, 2009, I believe. Sorry, Bill. Mike Diggs, 2009.
Holy shit.
If we're gonna take it back around, if we're gonna take the story back around, if the MMA circle comes full circle, he fought a teammate of yours named Mike Diggs, and then of course our good friend Colton Smith, friend of the show. We've still been meaning to get him on. You fought Colton Smith, Bill.
Yeah.
See how that works out?
Yeah. Dude, that guy was good. That guy was good. Fuck. He out Bookwalter. He fought the same style as I did. I just wanted to get you to the ground and beat you up, choke you out. Yep. He was better at doing the Bookwalter thing than Bookwalter was. So he was doing the Smith thing. Yeah, he was a very talented guy.
Colton's one of those guys that I still train with Colton, and I see Colton all the time. Colton's one of those guys that, you know, a lot of times guys age and they slow down a bit, but somehow Colton has just gotten stronger and faster with age, which is weird. I am 100% like convinced that he found some glacier in Afghanistan, and it's like the key to aging backwards, and he drinks from it every morning. But still just like one of those guys who is on the mat. Colton's competing every tournament that there is. Like, I thought I had a busy competition year this year. He's every gi, no gi. Like right now, I'm kind of chasing the no gi world. So I'm kind of positioning myself to do just the no gi. But he's doing gi, no gi, you know, at the black belt level, and it's a lot. So it's one of those where it's like, he was telling me like, oh, you know, you inspired me to kind of think about wanting to fight again, and I'm like, man, you inspired me to fucking work harder, because again, like to juggle a full-time military career and train full-time while you're he owns his gym. He doesn't just coach there; he owns it, coaches. It's a full plate.
I'll tell you, no, the answer is very simple. It's not a glacier. It's because you two are psychopaths. Like, there's something mentally wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
I had a bad childhood. Like, you know, not like you grow up. You know, I feel like the more privileged you are, the less likely you are to want to like subject yourself to suffering.
That's funny.
While he's broken up, shout out to Colton Smith, UFC tough
And
veteran.
now like they're gone because why would you?
Hey, if I traveled to Virginia and I wanted to grapple Colton for a 5-minute round, do you think he would do it? I'll donate money to the Army, to a charity, something good. But would he grapple me for 5 minutes? He'd beat the shit out of me right now, dude. He'd beat the shit out of me. Same way he did the first time.
I want to go back to a little conversation me and Pope had based on a conversation me and Bill had. There's already a verbal agreement for you to come down there and do 5 minutes of sparring and 5 questions with Mike Pope. We're still going to get this segment together. And if he says that if you can ask him questions while you guys are sparring, he's got drinks and beer for the whole crew after we're done. So lunch is on Pope. Lunch is on Pope. Bill just has to get battered around for 5 minutes. We'll get you guys some good content in the great state of Virginia. But shout out to Colton Smith, Army veteran. Thank you for your service. Thank you for his service. We appreciate you guys as always. Been wanting to get him on the show. I think we're going to have to tighten up, and I'm going to have to start reaching out to Colton to do that.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
Tough veteran, UFC veteran.
If I had to get my ass kicked by a guy in front of my daughters for a title belt, Colton's the guy I would want to do it. He's a quality dude, man. Quality person.
That's why, like, with my kids, I'm always hesitant to bring my kids along. Because I have a 17-year-old daughter, and I'm hesitant to bring her to a fight. I'm like, man, that'll be the one fight where like I slip on the sweat and I get that like just highlight reel, knee to the face KO. And, you know what I mean? Like what? Murphy's Law. Because I don't think like a lot of people like understand it. That's why I think my hat really goes off to anybody that gets in the cage, because you can be one of the best fighters in the world and just have an off night, and you just get absolutely highlight reel knocked out, like Anderson Silva, Vitor Belfort, or that they use to rest. And now you see the disrespect that they do these dudes now. Now they like animate them like being knocked down into the back of a truck and taken to the cemetery. Like the shit that they do now.
The internet always wins. No. The internet always wins, always. And it's savage.
Look, we are, and everybody that knows us knows we are fighter first here. Look, we are fighter first here. We are 100%. Everybody that makes the walk gets fucking respect, from the lowest amateur to the highest guy on the fucking card. They all get the same respect, but goddamn, some of those are funny. Let me tell you.
I'll tell you what.
It sucks. It sucks. They're funny, but they're funny. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what. This is why the guys get respect from me. Even Cody Brundage, that I'll talk about later. He did pretty good. We'll talk about that later. But the fact that a guy knew that was within the realm of possibility and still got the fuck in there, I applaud you. You always think you're going to win, but it might not always go that way. And sometimes you find yourself Ben Askren, and it's going to just be showed forever.
I mean, at the end of the day, you got guys like Impa. Shout out to Impa. All due respect to Impa. Impa, that was the most amazing. Like, to be on the receiving end of that, it's shitty. But at the end of the day, like, that's going to live on forever. And then the guy went on to win $1 million. Then he went to the B leagues and won $1 million twice. So really,
it worked out. It worked out. It worked out.
So, but this guy's been sitting idly in the corner. We don't mean to take time away from Mike Pope. We're going to get to you in a second. But our buddy Jeff joining the squad, college student, Division I wrestler, getting ready to graduate. You could tell he's put his time in on the mats because Jesus Christ, look at those cauliflower ears.
This guy would beat the shit out of me and you, Garrett. Like, by far, by a lot.
I've watched a lot.
I got to learn some hands first,
No. You just take me down and punch me or elbow me with whatever you want as I turtle up. That's it. Congratulations.
I don't know what a spladle is, but I heard it doesn't feel good. Jeff's joining the team. He's going to be doing some wrestling content with us, some behind the scenes stuff with us, and who knows what else. But Jeff's down there in Florida, and he, like I said, D1 wrestler, just wants to come in, learn the game. Going to be doing some type of stuff on the business side of the game, but he's not sure yet as to what he's going to do. So he's here with us. Might not be for a long time, but it'll be for a good time. So we welcome Jeff. Jeff, Mike's kind of on his way. I know you don't know Mike, so I wanted to give you a chance to kind of pick his brain a little bit. I gave you his name, did a little research. Shout out to Mike. He's going for an IBJJF world title, apparently no-gi this year. So I didn't know if you wanted to kind of bend his ear, just give you a chance to have the floor. If you don't want to do it, just tell me I'm an asshole, and we'll just kick it over to Bill. But Mike, Jeff, Mike, I'll get you guys linked up later. I think it'd be good for you guys to know each other. If nothing else fails, we're going to be doing some content on the ground with Mike in Virginia this summer, summer. Maybe we'll get Bill to come down, get punched in the face for 5 rounds, and we all get lunch on the post.
No, 5 rounds. It's 5 minutes with Mike Pope. Not 5. The fuck is wrong with you? 5 rounds? No.
You said it once and it stuck. So,
Yeah,
Jeff, go ahead. You got the floor. You got the floor, Mike Pope. You got the floor.
Yep.
Go ahead, bud.
Yep.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Mike, by the way. I'm pretty new to this game, but I met Price the other week, and, I'm looking to get as involved as I can. I guess the first question I have for you is, I'm 23 years old, and, some days I wake up in the morning and I'm like, shoot, dude, I feel like I'm 45, right? So, like, what's the key to your longevity? What do you do to, like, stay in tip-top shape? What do you do being how old you are? No offense to how old you are, but you know what I'm saying.
Being an old man, it doesn't get easier. I'll tell you that, because there's definitely days where I wake up and I'm like, every part of my body hurts. And I always tell people, I used to ignore stretching and mobility and all of that stuff. And I thought I was invincible until I wasn't anymore. So that for me is, and I probably don't even stretch as much as I should, but getting up and getting your body moving. Eating clean food instead of trying to rush out the door and just shoving whatever you can, because I've been there, like you just like I just need to get calories in before training, but the better you can keep your body and the things that you can control, I think helps longevity wise, because again, there are things that you can control and things you can't. You can't control the wear and tear that you're going to get on the mat. Some days it's going to be a little bit, some days it's going to be a lot of it. And when you fight, when you compete, that's going to happen. I've had 2 ACL surgeries. My back's all jacked up. I've got all kinds of different stuff going on. But I focus on the things that I can control, putting good food in my body, getting moving, actually doing the warm ups instead of doing the black belt thing and just getting everybody going and kind of standing on the side. And knowing that, there are some things that, you're going to have to work around. My shoulders are not what they used to be. So I have to kind of alter my game to deal with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I feel like it takes a lot of humility sometimes to, like, really understand where your body is and, like, be able to make those adjustments necessary to kind of, back off certain days, and other days you push, and I'm sure that's a lesson you probably had to learn through the years, because I'm trying to learn it myself. Because, when you're younger, you think you could go 100% all the time, and then it has its way of telling you that that's not the case, right?
Yeah.
So
one day
it's funny how it works. Yeah. How many more years do you think you'll be competing, if you could put a number on it?
So I always say that, like, my fight career will continue until I just get fantastically knocked out, or I feel like I'm taking too much head trauma to the point where, like, it's going to be an issue one day. Because I don't want to be one of those guys that, you're all punch drunk and you can't play with your kids anymore, and you're doing the Chuck Liddell where you just look like, and maybe that's a lot of cocaine too. I don't know what else Chuck's on, but so just that dazed and the deer in the headlights look all the time. So I think my fight career has probably got a finite, maybe 2 to 3 years, depending on, maybe 4, depending on, what kind of comes my way. But my jiu-jitsu career, fortunately in IBJJF, the older you get, you just keep moving into a different masters division. So you're still going against guys that are, now don't get me wrong, like, the masters division is nothing to sleep on. You've got guys. I went against a guy who, my very first time competing in the masters division as a black belt, I went against a guy who had 4 stripes on his black belt, and that means he's been a black belt for 12 whole. Like, he's been doing jiu-jitsu for that long, to the point where he had a black belt for longer than a lot of people have even been doing jiu-jitsu. So you're going to get guys that are super experienced. They've been doing it for a long time. But again, they're your age. They have the injuries. They have to work around the same things you do. Whereas, like, a 27-year-old black belt, he's got a ton of tricks and stuff, but he's also got the fact that he's fairly uninjured. He can move fairly freely, and so again, the cool thing with jiu-jitsu is you end up with in kind of a masters division, which I'm interested to see if they ever take that into MMA, where they kind of, obviously not like two 80-year-old guys fighting, but they do kind of like a masters division, and you can kind of see some of the legends that never got to link up in their prime, kind of link up at a little bit more seasoned and a little bit older, but they can compete against each other, but maybe not. They're maybe not going to do as well against a 19-year-old phenom that's been doing jiu-jitsu since he could walk.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, personally, I can tell you from the wrestling side of things, they do have like a masters division for people like 50 and over. My pops, he wrestled as well back when he was in college and back in Russia where he's from. And he gave me a call a few weeks ago. He's like, I got that itch to compete, out of nowhere. Yeah. And he decided to give it a try. And then fast forward a few weeks later, I give him a call. I'm like, how you doing on that? He's like, nah, I ain't feeling it. so yeah, I mean, it was worth the try. But for you, when it comes like from the motivational side of things, like when you get up in the morning, is fighting and jiu-jitsu the first thing you think about, or is there something else there? I mean, your kids, what's the first thought that pops into your mind?
First thing I'm thinking about is why this toddler has its foot in my face, because my children like to be invasive and come just dogpile me in the middle of the night. For me, man, motivation is, I have little eyes that are looking up at me, and my motivation has changed. If you would have asked me this question back when I was first getting into the game, 18, 19 years old, I would have been like, my motivation is to be a world champion, be the best that I can be, and win all the money, win all the prizes, have that Conor McGregor life. And now my motivation is, I want to show my children that, it is possible to chase your dreams, and that, you do have to sacrifice and put in hard work, and it's not easy. There's going to be days that you don't want to do it. No matter how motivated you are, there are days you just don't want to, and on those days, it's most important, as cliche as it sounds, to get your ass in there and do it. Because that builds mental resiliency. And I think that that's one of the things that, you have to continually work on. It's a perishable skill, in my opinion. Because the more you seek comfort, and you naturally want to seek comfort, so the more you seek into and let that comfort happen, the less you are going to be mentally resilient. You can take the hardest person in the world. The unheard of David Goggins is out there, and you let them get complacent long enough, and they will be complacent. They will lose that mental edge. So, I think it's, important to show, especially the next youth, or the next generation of young men, especially that, kind of have society saying, toxic masculinity, this or that. You want to show them that you have to chase things that are hard. And for me, again, as I'm getting older and I'm starting to feel older the more I talk about it, it's important to, it is tough to go into a gym full of 19-year-old guys and wrestlers that, that want to, they want to kick your ass because they want to tap the black belt. They want to tap, you get in there, you're hungry. You want to get your licks on the pro MMA fighter that's got world titles, because then you feel like you can take on all the things he's taken on. So getting in there and getting in that, going in the gym, knowing that every time I step on the mat and every time I roll or I spar with these guys, they're looking to get those mental victories on me. It's not, you don't always want to do it, but and showing my kids that, hey, this is what you do. This is, you got to do hard things, and you got to chase after. If you want to do anything in this world that's worth doing, you got to sacrifice.
Yeah. And I feel like, you mentioned mental resilience in society a little bit. I feel like nowadays, boys are taught to be girls, essentially, right? And we, I feel like we live in a very soft generation where, everybody expects to have everything handed to them, essentially, right? So when you have people like you just getting after it every single day, I think that's a huge motivating piece that kind of shows people like me, like, hey, nothing's going to be handed to you. You got to show up every single day and give your 100%. So yeah, you're an inspiration, man, especially.
Well, I appreciate it. And again, I'm not without my flaw. I'm in I'm in a Strava group. So Strava's like this running app, and with my friends, and we all give each other shit if we're, somebody's got more miles or somebody's not running consistently. So, even I use little things to keep myself motivated, Like I don't always want to go for a run, but then I know if I don't have, at least 5 miles in by 7 o'clock, one of my buddies gonna text me and be like, "Hey, you piece of shit! Like, what are you doing?" Like I already ran 10 miles, so so it's so I lean on like little stuff like that healthy competition. I think men need healthy competition in their life. As men, if we have nothing to compete against and we're not like trying to do better, I think that's when you see a lot of men ending up depressed, and that's why men's suicide is what it is. Guys lose their way and they feel like they don't have anything pushing them. We were never. Somebody said something the other day. We were never supposed to look at ourselves as much as we do, right? Because if you think about like, back in like the caveman days, you would only see like yourself in like the reflection of a pond every now and then. Now we have mirrors. Like this is shit we invented, right? There's nothing natural about it. So we invented all this stuff now that we're staring at ourselves in a phone every single day. And that's that changes your brain chemistry. That alters, your homeostasis with this planet. With men, we were supposed to be out there being hunter-gatherers, providing, chasing after, fucking livestock so we could, kill it and feed it to our families. We were supposed to be active. And I think it does something to the male brain chemistry when we're complacent, when we're not doing anything, when we're sedentary, and we don't have that competitive drive in our life. And I think that's why you see men, just isolating themselves and unfortunately, committing suicide at such a high rate.
Two things with that. One, I told you guys it's like being friends with Tim Kennedy, but he's shorter. Two, check on your fucking bros, please, everybody.
Yeah.
Check on your fucking bros.
Hey,
reach out.
Hey, that shit's real. What Mike just said is real. Every dude's felt that way at some point in life, and if you haven't, you just haven't had enough bad shit happen to you. And trust me, life has some shit planned for you, and it's up there. Mental health is good. Take care of yourself.
Yep.
Of course, the show just got to the most serious level it's probably ever been at. Here comes Brent Coleflesh.
He's one of the greatest dudes. He's winning.
Still poops outside the yard. Go. He's full. You're one of them savages like a Pope kid. I see these Pope kids on Facebook all the time. They're all fucking savages.
When nature calls, you do what you gotta do, Brent.
Yep.
Jeff, anything else for Mike's first time meeting him? We got one more or anything else? Or waiting on Tanner here. Give him a chance to say hi to Mike. Christy says Brent poops outside. That makes him a real man, apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently you're not
it's
a
like
real
that
man.
dude.
You shit outside.
It's like that dude. Shit outside. Be a man. That guy has that be a man channel. Yeah, go to work disappointed every day. Be a man.
The 8 mile ruck around Washington D.C. monuments with fucking 50-pound pack does not make Mike Pope a man. It's the fact that he still shits outside occasionally.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Can I say something to Mike in response to everything he just said?
Yeah.
Mike, you tell all your little Strava buddies. I did 20 years in wrestling MMA. I will never run again, figuratively or physically. I would rather stand in front of a challenge and get my ass beat than go run 4 miles. I will not run.
Top half
I'm
of
done.
This show doing any road work. Ain't nobody on the top half of this panel right here doing any fucking road work.
Oh, wait. And second question for Mike before he gets out of there. Mike, the segment is 5 minutes with Mike Pope. It's while we do whatever for 5 minutes. Well, grapple, not do whatever. That's suspect. Okay.
Oh, whoa.
You're not going to take it easy because I'm old and fat, are you? Because I'm going to try and kick your ass. I want the smoke. Don't go easy. Right. Don't do that pussy shit.
Are we
go
talking
hard.
On the ground, on the feet sparring? Is that what we're talking about?
No, on the feet you go 60%ish. I'm not gonna. No, I don't. No, on the ground.
Mike, we'll send over a full list of required.
No.
Participation from Mike. Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu, Mike. Jiu-jitsu. Bring the smoke. I'm gonna try and. I'm not gonna injure you. I know what I'm doing. I was a pro like you are, but I have a significant weight advantage on you. Don't take it easy on me. If you can kick my ass to death, do that shit.
Are you guys taking bets on this or no?
What's that?
Are you guys taking bets on this?
Oh, this is not a gambling show. But Mike's currently minus 20,000 on DraftKings.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like plus 100,000. So if you bet $10, you're gonna win like 10 grand. That's pretty cool. P.S. I'm not gonna win. Don't bet your money.
Prior to your coming on the scene, Jeff, there's already a verbal agreement I kind of masterminded where Bill, you know, we're close to Philly. We're just as close to Philly as we are to Mike down there in Virginia. And Bill has this, I don't know if it's him trying to stay young or he's not going to book a fight. He's just going to do this to get the shit pummeled out of him quarterly. But he has this idea for a brilliant marketing strategy where the former UFC referee gets in and spars with a fighter. We will do that. It is great. It's marketable. We're packaging up. However, now it's transpired to, like, Mike said that, I believe his exact words were, if Bill can hang with me for 5 minutes and still be able to ask questions, I'll buy you guys lunch. So I'm now invested in this because, look, we're not picking no cheap place. There's a lot of great places to eat down in the Virginia, D.C., in the area.
Hey, Pope, even if you have my back and are threatening to choke, I'm still going to talk shit till the time I go to sleep. I'm going to still talk shit. Like, the whole time.
Right now, Mike Pope submits Bill 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Mid-sentence, Bill gargles and goes to sleep. He does one of them involuntary, I'm being choked. Look, if you've never been choked, your body sometimes makes involuntary noises while you're being choked.
Listen.
Noises you didn't know you're making or you don't know how you made them, but your body just... That's going to happen to Bill, possibly some mouth foam, and then we're going to cut the screen black, and then we're going to open it up in a nice Italian restaurant. Bill's going to be a little bit woozy, but he's going to be eating chicken parmesan that Mike paid for. I'm going to set the scene for you guys right now.
What's that?
Let me say this. I feel this match 2 minutes. What makes you think I would last 2 minutes 36 seconds? I could ask that to Christy too. I'm going to give you 50 seconds of fury. 50 seconds of fury. Then I'm not going to move a whole lot. And I might pass out or fall asleep. That's a thing. It happens. But I'm not going to last 2 minutes. No, Mike's a professional athlete. Like,
it would be.
I'm so far away from that.
Let him talk, goddammit, or he's going to fuck you up even worse.
I thought it'd be really funny to put a mic on like a jiu-jitsu mat and have no video, just listen to the sound. You know? Interesting.
Bro.
It would be so bad.
Like, what is happening in there?
That's brilliant.
I do have the separate crispy mic with the DJI contact camera, so I think
you hear some guy going. You're like, oh God, what's going on behind the scenes? What are they doing?
It's like you're trying to say words, but your tongue isn't operating. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
And listen, I love everybody. That's not a slam against anybody. I'm just saying it could sound different than what's actually happening.
Bro,
absolutely.
Bill, you definitely have more than 50 seconds. I think you got more than 50 seconds.
No.
Look, the new guy's got your back, Bill.
No, listen, I'm trying. I
think that any person with prior combat experience has more than 50 seconds to survive. Personally, I think.
You've never been 47. You've never been 47. Let me just say this real quick. I heard you say to Mike earlier in the thing, I don't want to hold Mike up. I know Mike's got to get going. I don't want to fuck with his training. I heard you say when you're 23, you realize like you can't go like when you were younger. Do they make them younger than 23? Like I thought. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Wait till you hit 30.
When you're younger, you're as young as it is. There's no like you're as young as it gets.
They do, trust me. On a college wrestling team, you got 18-year-olds coming in, and so you see the perspective.
Dude, I'm like Mike. I thought I was invincible until I wasn't, and then bicep tendons started snapping like dry rubber bands. Knees started hurting. You go to the doctor for surely a broken ankle, and they tell you have arthritis. Have you heard that?
This is probably the only guy in referee history that tore a bicep muscle refereeing a fight.
No, that is not what happened. That is not what happened. We'll get to that in another episode. We will set that up in another episode.
Story time with Uncle Bill coming soon. Go ahead, Mike.
Coming soon.
So when I very first started jiu-jitsu, we had a brown belt. His name was Jason, and he used to like complain about, my back hurts, my this hurts, and he was like in his mid-30s at the time. And I was like, oh, you're so full of shit. Like you just don't want to roll, blah blah. And like now I get it. I'm like, oh, geez, I can't even turn my neck right. I have to move like Kane from WWE and move my whole body when I do stuff because, some 19-year-old was grabbing on my, my head last class trying to rip my spine out of my body.
Yeah, my brother, right. I remember it was like the week after I got my blue belt. My brother tested with me. He had just gotten his blue belt. We're 2 brand new fucking blue belts. We're eager. We got the blue belts now. Fuck yeah, now we can finally wrist lock white belts. Like, we were all stoked to have our blue belts, and I fucking can opener him, and it kept him. It was the scrubbiest move, but he was being an asshole, and he was a way better wrestler than me, so he used wrestling to get an advantageous position. So the minute I got into one and couldn't get out of his guard, I can opener him, had him out for like a month. And I'm like, so they're like, we knew we shouldn't have gave you your blue belt. Like, I'm just like, see, this is what fucking happens.
Douche.
Well, none of us have much experience because we just trained a guy. His name was Jeff Skeen, and so he was a CEO.
Oh, the older guy.
Yeah, so
I saw him win.
Yes, 60 years old. 60 years
60.
old.
Against a very young guy.
I think the guy was a little bit older too. He's in his 40s, but still.
That's very young compared to the 60-year-old. It's relative. That's a very young guy for a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
Now, Bill,
was it MMA or was it jiu-jitsu?
MMA.
No, MMA. Dude, I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed with this dude. If you walk to get in the cage, first of all, it takes a set to get in the cage and fight anybody.
Oh,
if you're 60, dude, you're risking embarrassment in front of everybody. Some young dude's going to beat your ass. He's like, fuck it, went in there, fucker won. I was like, holy shit.
And again,
bravo.
Like you're talking about a CEO who has millions of dollars in his bank account, could no reason at all to prove anything to anybody. Could go home and live the most cushy life that he ever wanted to, right? Super cushy. Could do whatever he wants and chose to get in there because he felt that hunger as a man. Like, I need to do this. This is something that I feel like I need to accomplish in my lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, and again, he could have been, he flew all of these important people out to watch. He could have been humiliated, right? They could have one punch just gotten crumbled.
Holy fuck. Right? That is a dude betting on himself.
Yep, went out there and they had a tough first round, went in there and rallied it out, came back and not a tough, he was dominating the first round, but went in there and then TKO'd him at the very early in the second round. Again, he never had to do that. Nobody would have ever looked at him any differently had he not done that. But he was like, this is something that eats at me as a man, that I want to do as a man. Again, a successful CEO, owns multiple Gold's gyms, millions of dollars in his bank account, and would, again, go every day, would show up and go into a gym. I can't tell you how many times I gave him a black eye or a bloody nose in sparring. What
an inspiration, dude! What an inspiration!
Yeah.
What an inspiration!
And
so
again,
what Pope's telling you guys is he likes to beat up on 60-year-old men in the gym.
Wait.
More importantly, Bill, what if you were that guy in his 40s that just got knocked out by a 60-year-old dude? What would you be?
Hold on. Hey, bravo to him. It took balls to take a fight against a young. Bravo, nothing but respect. Let me say this about Mike. You please tell Paul Skeen I am very impressed with that dude. Holy fuck, who the fuck does that? It's the Brock Lesnar thing. People don't understand how much of a pay cut Brock Lesnar took just because he wanted to do it. That guy's as rich as he could ever be, and Dana White probably gave him $500,000. He did it to prove himself as a man. Dude, I'm very impressed. How much does Paul Skeen weigh?
I think they fought at 185.
No, I'm never cutting that much weight. Dude, Paul, I'm impressed. But Mike, if you can set this up, I would love to interview that guy. I have no backstory, no history with him other than you. I'm 47. I'm 47 and I think I'm too old. And it was never about money. I didn't do well in my last fight. I wanted to leave better than that. If you're 60, you're supposed to be going into a retirement home. This guy's getting into a fucking MMA cage? Let me talk to that motherfucking psycho.
Yeah.
If you can set that up, we'll talk offline.
Pope,
I'll talk
Pope,
to you.
You posted that. I tagged Bill in that to show him. And the very next, I expected within 5 minutes, Bill Bookwalter was going to announce that he was back in fight camp. I was waiting for the group chat to blow up. He's like, "Fuck it."
Listen, that's why I'm saying. Listen, there is something, and I'm telling you guys right now. And whoever grabs this idea and runs with it is going to be very successful. There is something to be said about a Masters MMA division. Right, 40 years old and up, maybe 40.
It's the GFL. You just literally
Is that what they do?
called Owen over at the GFL and let him know you stole his idea, or he stole your idea, and that
Yeah.
you want a fucking cut of it, because it's the geriatric fight league, bro. And shout out to everybody that's in that league is like the who's who of who we grew up watching, or who we've been paying attention to for the latter half of the last 20, or the early half of the last 20. Like, these guys get the respect too for doing it. They probably get more respect. They're talking about Rockhold versus Weidman.
Let me have 30 seconds to speak on this, because I'm very passionate about it. I'll get done quick. I love these guys. I love everybody you're talking about. Mike, I had contemplated a comeback for one fight. I had a guy in mind that I wanted to fight. These athletic commissions, they do not want to deal with what they consider old guys. Virginia is a little bit more loose with stuff, but this GFL, do you really want to see two 60-year-old guys fight? It's not going to be the highest quality product. Yes, respect.
I did not say two 60-year-olds, but as a guy,
Mark Coleman and Vitor Belfort. Are you shitting me?
They're going to fight.
No,
Mark Coleman's going to fight.
I want to see a TRT'd up Vitor Belfort and a TRT'd up Mark Coleman just swinging for the fences. Come on,
Mike. You know the athletic commissions aren't going to sanction these fights. You know that. Nobody's saying Ken Shamrock can fight again. If I'm the athletic commissioner, I'm like, this is just some dude.
Bill, again, just because
this isn't going to happen.
No.
It's not going to happen.
Just because you're seeing people on a GFL flyer associated with the GFL, that does not mean they're fighting, bro. Calm it down. I told you this last week. I told you this last week. I sent you the whole.
I saw a fight book. And it would be irresponsible of an athletic commission to book this fight. I forget what the two fighters were. It's like May 11th. I'm like,
Bill, you want to know how I'm going to end this? I'm going to end this debate.
Go ahead.
They just let Mike Tyson fight Dick. An athletic commission sanctioned that. How much older? What is it, like a 40-year age gap? So if the money is right, you can't tell me the athletic commission can't be bought, because they were 100%.
Yeah.
They're all self-funded. Of course, most of them are self-funded. Of course, they're going to be bought.
They want to make they do want to make money when they sell tickets to an event. The athletic commission takes like a percent. It's a shakedown.
Look. Texas Department of Athletics. I guarantee you, I'm no accountant, but the Texas Department of fucking athletics,
it's a shakedown.
Has a surplus on their budget this year just because of one event. And that's.
The athletic commissions, they dig into these promoters a little bit. They take their share. They don't let it.
That's why
I could understand if.
Come get on a pro show. Come get on a Cagezilla. Operation Octagon's now Cagezilla. Come out and get on one of their pro shows. Get back in there and take a fight against somebody your age.
Tell Paul Skeens to start eating like 7,000 calories a day, and we'll talk in 6 months.
He said tell Paul Skeens to meet him in the middle at the lower end of the heavyweight division.
I'm not cutting any weight ever again. It has trauma. I had severe trauma from cutting weight as a kid and as a young adult. It'll never happen again. Never. I'm the super heavyweight divion.
Look,
you know how they have
trash can. It's a Brooklyn street fight. They're just gonna do a Brooklyn street fight.
You know how there's the super heavyweight division for the guys bigger than 265. Well, I want to start the bigger super heavyweight division for the guys that the super heavyweights look at and be like, no, that guy's pretty big. Like, I'll fight in that division. Like the plus. I call myself old 2XL. We're working our way to 3. I can't cut weight. Absolute trauma. Being hungry is the worst thing in the world. Young Jeff, I understand what you go through when you cut weight. I used to cut drastic amounts of weight. It was the worst idea I've ever had in my life. I should have just gone and fought fat guys. Is a real athletic, big, bulky dude. Cutting weight is the worst thing. Trauma. Absolute trauma.
I am convinced that guys that cut a ton of weight end up with a poor relationship with food after the fact. Because again, like once you know what it's like to just be hungry for days and days on end, you will never allow yourself to feel that way again. Control it. I understand exactly. Jeff knows what's going on. Jeff, do you cut weight?
Yeah, I cut weight. Not as much as like a lot of the other guys, but
It's horrible.
Probably sitting at like 12, 15 over week of. So like I know what you're talking about. That feeling that like, that instinct of like you want to eat and like you're not allowed to. Like you never want to experience that ever again in your life.
Dude, no. What about?
I feel like
oh my.
I feel like nowadays, more modern times, like people are encouraged to go up a weight, and I think it's best for the sport, and I think it's a good idea because at the end of the day, like your performance is not going to be the best if you're sucking 20 to 30 pounds week to week. You might as well have two somewhat hydrated guys, right, rather than two corpses.
It thins out the herd.
Jeff, have you ever been Tuesday night and still 23 pounds over in your fights on Friday, and you have such poor self-discipline that you waited until the last minute, and now it's either do or die, and you have to go into starvation mode, and you feel like your organs are shutting down, and you cry? Have you ever been there, Jeff? It's horrible. It's the worst.
No.
Bro, you have
It's
to
the worst.
Gary Brecka, in the middle of that, just do some bone broth. Gary Brecka swears by Dana White.
No bone broth.
You can go fucking 3 months without food. What the fuck are you talking about, Bill? You just need water.
I started diet. I started diet on Monday at lunch, and by break, I'm like, I'm out. This is the worst feeling in the world. I remember what this felt like. I remember it was horrible. But yes, I'm glad we're shifting. Ever since that wrestler from Michigan, his name was Jeff Reese. He died cutting weight in a sauna. They changed some of the shit. And my nephews are going through wrestling right now. And at the beginning of the season, you do a hydration test, and the doctor tells you what you can safely weigh. When I wrestled, it was if you can get there, you're allowed to run out of that mat.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're going to let your teammates and your family down, and you put yourself through this mental – it's the worst thing I've ever experienced, and I just can't do it again. I can't. I love food. I love to eat. I've gone to bed so many nights daydreaming about food, like crying like some Swiftie over the thought of eating a cheesesteak on Friday.
Bill's going to Facebook jail arguing with people on Facebook about chicken parmesan. He's serious about his food.
It happened. I'm the shit you say.
What's the most weight you ever cut? What's the most weight you ever cut?
Okay, so this is my before I got a ball out of here for strength and conditioning. So this is when I very first started getting ready to fight, I was so anxious to take a fight that I was like, basically, I'll fight at whatever. We had a scale in our gym that was broken, so it weighed you about 8 to 10 pounds light. So I got on a scale, and I'm weighing like, it was saying I was 155, and I'm like, I can cut to 135, right? I can cut to 135. That's easy. So my coach gets this all set up. I don't know how anybody looked at me back then. I was like, you can get to 135. I guess that's a discussion for another day. But so the week of, I realized that I was actually closer to 165 than 135. So I had to get down 30 pounds, right? And there was no getting out of it. So this is back before I knew anything about weight cutting. So I ate grapes and spoonfuls of peanut butter for a week. Would not drink water, right? Didn't drink water. And every night I would put my thermals on and go for a run on the treadmill and just try to sweat it out. And finally, the day of weigh-ins, I got down to 144, and I went to a gym with a buddy of mine, and I sat in the sauna for 8 hours. 8 hours.
God,
No way.
We get out, right? We get out, and I am just like, I am a shell of a human being at this point, right? We get out, get me on the scale, and I'm like 139, almost like 140, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
So now it's like red alert, right? So like, oh shit, he's not going to make weight. They get me back in the sauna, and now everybody from the gym is coming to the sauna to come sit in there. My head coach, everybody. Like, it's like, we're going to will him there, right? And I don't know if you guys have ever been this depleted. I was so upset, right, that I was starting to like break down, and I started to cry. I had no tears. I couldn't even cry. I stopped sweating completely. Couldn't get any tears. And so they're like, look, we don't even have time to weigh you. We're going to get you out. We're going to dry you off. You have like 15 minutes before they're going to close the scales. And so we get to the venue, and it was at a Hooters because for whatever reason, our Octagon like to do those weights at Hooters. And I was completely stripped down. They had to pull a towel out and everything. I was 136.5. on the scale, and my opponent, like gracious enough to take it with a half pound over, but I was dead, and for somehow we left that weigh-ins and we went to Chipotle, and I like ate like 3 burritos and just drank a bunch of water. I was probably still dehydrated the next day because I didn't know anything about like the whole like rehydration, which is now a science, right? Like they pay people good money to do that stuff. So I always tell people it was a miracle that I finished him in the first round, because if we went to round 2, I would have had nothing left.
Jeez.
I've been there.
Yep.
I've been there. That's
Did you see,
horrible.
like,
It's a horrible feeling.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, did you see like a huge size advantage because of all the weight you were cutting, or not necessarily?
I think the size advantage would have, I think it played into my favor in winning the way I did in the first round, because I just sprinted, and it's on YouTube. I just sprinted across the cage, double-legged this guy, and head arm choked him. Marcus Daniels.
Oh, Marcus the Menace. Marcus the Menace Daniels. Barbarian Fight Club. I remember Marcus.
Yep, Barbarian, yeah. So I just sprinted across the cage, took him down, and choked him out. But I think if it would have went into a second round, I think I would have had a lot less energy, and that would have been a huge disadvantage. So
What'd you weigh walking in the cage?
I was probably about 155, 160 walking into the cage.
So close to you were almost back to normal after
right.
Chipotle. You didn't shit yourself before the fight, or what?
Oh,
No.
Listen, listen, that and nowadays that's normal, right? Nowadays, guys that walk around at 160, 155, they fight at 135. Some of them fight at 125.
Jesus
So,
Christ! Now, Mike, you could have died, and you don't want to let your teammates down. You don't want to let your family down. So you will pretty much go to the death. And I'm sure that's what Jeff Reese from Michigan thought when he passed away with the sauna shit.
Yep.
Dude, there's no telling how close I was. There's no telling how close you were to death. Like, this is when organs start shutting down and failing. Like, it's for
my
real.
body
fucking
was
sucks.
no longer sweating.
But in the annals of MMA history, one might say to you, don't do what Mike Pope did, and then somebody else can look at you and say, but he won. With that, I'm gonna cut him. I'm gonna cut him out. I'm gonna let him get the strength and conditioning.
Yeah, get out, Mike. Get out.
Yeah.
After New York, after he's further along in his IBJJF Nogi World Championship journey, he's gonna come back and tell us how it's going.
I will.
Talk
let you
sport
guys
more.
do
We appreciate you, buddy. Much
guys
love.
for having
See
me.
you soon.
We love you, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I'm hitting you up. I'm hitting you up in the DMs, Mike. I'm fucking up your training. Let me buy you a tub of protein. Get going. All right, go.
Sliding in your DMs is all I heard.
There you go. Oh my God! But we were having a good ass time, but we kept that guy from going to strength and conditioning. Jesus Christ! He better kick the shit out of this next guy. I don't want to.
He said he pushed it. Look, he said he pushed it back till 8, buddy. It's okay. Calm down.
Okay. I just don't want to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying. I don't want to. I'm gracious that he shows up and gives us his time. I know what it's like to train. Especially when you have a fight coming up.
Note to self: we're going to bring Mike Pook back in the summers.
Yes.
Night timeout when he's driving because of his.
Mike's a good time.
Schedule. Mike's active duty military.
He's a good time.
I wanted to say this in front of his face, and I always say it to him. I joke about being a Marine husband and a short Tim Kennedy, and give him shit about his ruck and 50-pound ruck marches and shit that he goes on. That's the homie, bro. For real. If you're lucky enough to be friends with Mike Pope, follow him on Facebook. He's an extraordinary dad. He's a soldier. He defends our country. Like I said, former CFFC lightweight champion, former just a staple in the aught years and the 09s and the 10s and the 11s and the 13s, coming up through the Virginia scene. Just been around the block a time or two. Solid fucking dude, salt of the earth human being, active duty soldier, full-time dad, full-time Marine husband. Like I said, it just I hope he got some new fans tonight. I hope if you weren't familiar with him, that you're going to go look up some of Mike Pope's work, and he deserves to be celebrated. He's a solid dude.
What I think about Mike is if he found a wallet with $1,000 in it, you could go to the police station, contact the rightful owner. That money's still there. He's that type of dude. So solid. Mike's solid dude. Shout out Mike. Shout out Paul Skeen. Baby Jeff, who's as young as could ever be.
I think that's going to stick now. I think
Baby Jeff's
going to stick.
23. He's like, you can't fight. You can't do it like when you were younger. I thought you started at 23.
You guys hear?
That's like the youngest. That's We're here, Jeff.
Did we kill your earbuds?
We're cutting on you a little bit, but Jeff, oh wait, is he even here?
Can you hear us? Can you
I
hear
could
us?
probably beat Jeff's ass. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I could beat Jeff up, right? Like, I mean, he don't look that tough.
Hold on. Go ahead, Jeff. Can you hear us? Can you hear us? We're talking. My mouth is moving. Words are coming out.
Cauliflower ain't shit. I'd probably kick the fuck out of this dude.
Now you're muted. Now you're not muted. I mean, we could try it with the headphones out, buddy. It doesn't matter. It's all technical difficulties here at Fight Show. We got a bunch of... We're going to pay some bills while Jeff's figuring it out. Jeff, you're muted. You muted yourself. Hold on. I can't unmute you. Wait, there you go. Are you muted? Can you hear me?
Come on, Price. You're the technology end of this.
I got so many fucking buttons on his end. I can't do anything. The guy took his earbuds out mid-show. Now he's off of Klimt. I don't fucking know what he's doing.
No, unaudio the shit or something. Do what the fuck you young people do. You know how this shit works.
I'm gonna keep talking shit. Hey Brent, thanks for sticking with us.
I'm always
Brent,
gonna
I want
talk
to
shit.
ask you live on the internet. Hey, now
Wait.
Go.
Oh, is young Jeff back?
Yeah, I thought it was Baby Jeff. You called him Baby Jeff.
Baby Jeff, you there? Baby Jeff, you there?
Baby Jeff, are you with us, Baby Jeff?
Come in, Baby Jeff.
Bro, but change
There's
Baby Jeff.
There's your sound clip for the week. Come in, Baby Jeff.
Can you hear
Wrong
us,
words
Baby
to string
Jeff?
together. Baby Jeff,
Bro,
you there?
last week it was Young Lions Are Coming. Are you
Yeah.
unmuted now? Are you
Oh, what
unmuted?
an idiot. What an
Hey,
idiot.
pop back out, and come back in. We're going to do some housekeeping notes. Can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
X out. X. Cross out. X out. Gary. Oh, there we go.
Jeff tapped a bandwidth.
No, you go to sleep. You go to sleep versus bandwidth. You don't tap.
Yeah. Banners.
I wish we were allowed to have Brent Colflesh on. He's a very witty, funny, intellectual guy.
Bro,
he is one of the smarter people.
On.
No,
Listen.
Yeah.
He who should not be named.
Greg Kunkel is not real. He can't hurt you, Brent.
Greg Kunkel is not really getting hurt. We're going to do some housekeeping. If Bill shuts up and drinks his beer, Bill, shut up, drink your beer. Shut up, drink your beer. Brought to you by Bill's Beer. For all things Checkmate for now, go to Checkmate MMA's link tree in Google. Full episodes at Checkmate MMA on YouTube. Clips available on all socials at Checkmate MMA. We got some exclusive interviews, content, and merch coming soon.
Apparently.
Millions.co/checkmate-MMA. So we had to change it up. Look down there at the bottom. Fresh, and of course, presented by Checkmate Specialty Roasters, our fresh roasted to order specialty grade MMA themed organic coffee. tinyurl.com/checkmate roasters. Use the code Checkmate CHKM8 for free shipping. 6 good flavors, all fresh roasted. As soon as you order it to your door. Coming next week, probably next week. I say next week, but sometimes we say stuff and it takes a week or two. I say this. CheckmateMMA.com is on its way. Full shop store, full merchandise. We've got supplement partners. We've got coffee partners. We've got new merch. There will be merch with pictures of Bill Bookwalter's face on it just for you, Brent Colflesh. I promise. I'm trying to let the young dude know.
Baby Jeff.
Come back in. I got to jump off here in about 2 minutes. I am actually jumping over. If you're following us here on our YouTube, jump on over to Yama Yelling About Mixed Martial Arts. I'm doing a stream with him. He wants to chat about some things going on in the content space. If not, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want to tune into that, that's over on the Yama channel, Yelling About Mixed Martial Arts on YouTube. If not, I might be able to broadcast it live. I'm getting ready to go in. Jeff Geller's back with us. We think the mic might work for a minute. Are you back with us,
you guys
Baby
hear
Jeff?
Me?
You guys hear me? Jeff, can you hear me?
Hey, welcome back. We were just saying how awesome you were and how amazing you were wrestling, and you're probably very good.
Look, I heard the shit talk, not gonna lie, but I'll tell you what just happened. So you guys mentioned funny moments that happened on your show, right? I'll tell you this.
No, it's a weird place.
So let me tell you this. So I'm sitting on a balcony, right? It's probably like 40 feet in the air, and I'm wearing my AirPods. One of them pops out, drops 40 feet, and I'm looking at it right now from here. So I lost my AirPod. But hey, this is more important, you know. So I'm gonna stay on this. But Bill, I heard the shit talk, and we're gonna have to make something happen.
Oh man,
We're gonna have to sell this.
you know, come on. Like there's a couple beers going through me. Like I was kidding. Yeah, I was kidding.
Bro, here's
I'm
the deal,
not
Bill.
kidding.
I'm gonna real quick MMA
was kidding.
story from my time around the space. Bill might remember this card. One of the last strike-off cards. I was fortunate enough to run the floor for the largest pro promotion in Virginia for a short time. Bill, of course, worked as a referee in the great state of Virginia. We're sitting there and we're chopping it up with Frankie Edgar. Chris McRae came back, UFC, tough veteran, fought at the strike-off card. Frankie Edgar was in his corner. We're over there bullshitting with a buddy of his from Texas. And my buddy looks over and like basically cracks a short joke with Frankie Edgar. And I kind of looked at him and I was like, hey, you really probably don't. We just met him a couple hours ago, been hanging out with him for a couple hours. Probably don't want to crack short jokes with future Hall of Famer Frankie Edgar there. Bill, I kind of echo the same advice to you there, sir. This gentleman here, you don't know anything else about him. Look, Baby Jeff, could you turn your head sideways just a hair to give him the whole, you see that, Bill? That's
okay. Listen.
He's not from Dagestan, even though he speaks Russian. I want to shout that out to everybody. Baby Jeff does speak Russian. Mm-hmm. He's not from Dagestan, but he will send you there for 2-3 years and forget about you, Bill. Do you see those fucking ears?
Okay, let me say this. If I ever met, of course I'm going to talk shit on the internet because that's all it's good for. The internet sucks. You young people doing the weird shit you do. If I ever see Jeff face to face, I'm going to explain to him how I was just like kidding. Like, come on, it was for the show. Like I was talking some shit. Reality is, I would wait to talk this shit though till I knew there was somebody over there who would definitely step in between the fight, so I didn't actually have to do anything. You know, I could pretend that I wanted to and rely on Brett to break it up. I'm guessing Jeff.
You're holding me back, bro. You're lucky
for sure.
holding me back, bro.
For sure, bro. You don't want this.
One of those things where you like talking shit but like walking backwards at the same time, like hold me back,
dude. I can't.
Hey.
Wait, hold on. I can't let you get too close, man. I can't, bro. I can't let you get too close. Of course I'm gonna be. I can't beat you in a fight. I can't beat you in anything physical. Yeah, I'm gonna talk shit. I'm not. You gotta give yourself some more credit. I mean, you have some fight experience. Now, hold on.
One of us is nicknamed Baby Jeff, and one of you guys is nicknamed the Mannheim Strangler. I just want to point that out. One of you guys is nicknamed the Mannheim Strangler. The other's nicknamed now Baby Jeff. So let's just put that on record. Jeff, you might want to watch out. 20 years experience. He's been the third man in the cage. He's reffed your fighter's favorite fighter. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You better watch out. Bill,
that's what I'm saying.
The Strangler might sleep
you. I know the fight game. I've refereed at the highest levels. The looks of this dude tell me to probably walk away. Like he's probably that's not the guy you want to do the thing with. So Bill, not at this point in life.
Bill's trying to book a fight with Jeff.
Listen, I'm realistic. Listen, I like to give where credit's due. You know, knowing that you have some fight experience, you probably have some stand up. You know, I'll probably make sure the distance is pretty good. But if I take the fight to the ground, I think I got it. You know.
I don't know how to lie, and Brent Coldflesh will probably attest. My stand-up might have been the worst in MMA history. I'm not joking. There are fight footages of me throwing a punch to try and get a power double on somebody. Yeah. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, Baby Jeff. Like I don't know how to lie. It's pretty bad. It's embarrassing. But once I got you on the ground, good to go. Good to go. No. I was gonna beat the shit out of you, but not to stand up. And I don't have those reflexes. And we talk shit on the show all the time. These guys, Joe Rogan will be like, "Oh, this guy has Olympic level wrestling." Yes, like 12 years ago. If you put him against the main contender on the starting roster for the U.S. Olympic team, they are not a U.S. Olympic wrestler. Your ability fades as years go on. I haven't done it in 25 years. You actively do it. I feel like Tyson, like Alexander Usyk. I feel there's a possibility. I don't know how to lie. I feel there's a possibility you'd probably win out on that. So yes, I will wait to talk shit until there's somebody in the middle of us.
Bill,
I know I never have to.
Bill, didn't you say something one time? It's like, oh, all D1 wrestlers do is stick their finger up your ass and then try and hold you down for 3 seconds and grunt.
I've never said that. I have never said that. No, I have never said that.
Maybe
Bill,
Jeff
it's
No,
just
personal.
fucked around.
though.
Just
No, listen. If you wrestle Division One, yeah, you're pretty good at it. Like you went to some tournaments here and there.
Bro, again,
Yeah.
it's
Like,
much like
Division
the UFC
One.
roster. If you're in the lower half of the division, like if you are ranked division, like if you're in the lower half of the numbers for a Division One wrestling program, like I still salute you. Like you're still.
Oh,
You're
let me
still
tell Jeff.
doing
Let me
things.
tell Jeff this. NCAA Division One Nationals, the finals, Saturday at the Wells Fargo. I get to see the semifinals and the finals from Section 104. I'm up close. This is like a
shit.
once in a lifetime. Dude, I only paid $400 a ticket, and I'm taking my friend with me. This is once in a lifetime. And I explained she's like, the ticket prices will probably go down. And I'm like, not for this one. Not for this one.
Yeah.
This is the final resting place. These people have followed these guys since 5, 6, 7 years old. This is the final straw. This is the hardest ticket to get in town. I get to watch the semifinals and the finals all in one day and have Philadelphia cheesesteaks and drink the whole fucking day. I'm amped, bro. Like, I'm pumped.
Bill,
I'm never gonna get to do this again. Once in a lifetime.
Yeah, man, that's a dream. I mean, for every college wrestler, like, you know, ever since they were kids, like being in that national final spotlight is the, you know, ultimate thing that you can possibly accomplish, you know? So, you know, if you knew the storylines and all these different like interdependent things going on behind these wrestlers and what's going on behind the scenes, I mean, it makes it such a fantastic thing. You know, college wrestling is one of those I feel like is underappreciated, but it's such a wonderful thing to watch. I mean, I'm really glad that you're going to get to see it. That's awesome.
Dude, if you said college wrestling was underappreciated and you saw these ticket prices at the Wells Fargo, they appreciate the shit out of it. The shitty seats. The shitty seats are $700. The shitty seats from
That's crazy.
Like where all you're gonna get to tell your friends is that you were there. $700 for the final night.
Yeah,
holy fuck!
We
you know,
to GL3. Hold on, we talked to GL3. Some of those the way the screen setup is at the Wells Fargo, and again, I don't know how they're going to be doing it with multiple mats, so it might be a little bit different. But some of the people, I saw some shots from people that were sitting up there during the BKFC event, and we were sitting down below. They had some pretty good fucking seats, bro. The way the way the arena's set up at Wells Fargo, it's a bit more intimate. So I think it's going to be decent. But again, ticket prices astronomical for that because I looked into them. He's going to a wrestling event in Jersey, and it came up in conversation. So I checked prices. I was like, holy fuck.
Dude, I'm gonna get to see a night where I get to see somebody in so much pain, somebody with so much like joy, somebody who's glad it's over. And it was so close. One thing could have swung one way or another. You're going to see ultimate pain and ultimate joy all in the same area going on. It's wild. The emotions these guys go through, I can't even fucking imagine. I can't imagine.
He said the last time I paid $700 for something, it was very intimate, Brent said.
Yeah, and this guy can't come on the show and talk about general refereeing questions, but he can say this shit. Brent, you're never going to be president, you motherfucker. Never.
Like, if I'm paying
Bill, you know
anything, I better get jacked off at the end.
I was gonna say the crazy thing about those ticket prices, right, is that you'll have a guy wrestling Saturday night in front of 25,000 people. 2 weeks before that event, who's probably wrestling at home in, let's say, West Virginia at a home duel, he probably had maybe 150 people, 200 people watching. So yeah, I mean, this one event has so many eyes on it because it's being streamed all over the country. But when it comes to like the average attendance for college wrestling matches, I'd say only 5 to 10 programs in Division One bring in more than 1,000 people watching. You know, everybody else is kind of like, you know, there's not a lot of casual fans in the industry. You know,
so why does it pick up an interest so much at the end? I don't get it.
Well,
that's a good question.
I feel from outside. I've spent. That's why I'm glad Jeff's here. I spent a good bit of my combat sports time being on the outside of wrestling, looking in, being acquainted with some people, having my brother come up in District 3 in PA. I see the growth. Like, there's a reason why it's at Wells Fargo this year. As much as what he's saying, that this last little thing is a spotlight and a spectacle as it's always been, that spotlight and that spectacle from 10 years ago has just gotten larger and larger and larger to now where you might not have seen, I don't think, the NCAA finals at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia 10 years ago. It was big. I've seen you watch it's getting bigger. It's getting bigger.
Let me explain where this is at for me. I swear on my life, I do not know how to lie. It's a character flaw or success. I don't know how to lie. If somebody said we will give you $500 in a luxury suite at the Super Bowl, or you can pay $700 to go see the Wells Fargo Saturday night NCAA Finals, I swear on my life I would pay the $700 and go to the NCAA Finals. I don't give a shit about that other thing. I swear to God. I swear. I don't care about that. I want to see this thing. This is once in a lifetime. This is like fantastic.
Yeah.
The culmination of like 20 years of fucking work.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think one of you guys asked the question, why is it that there's this one spotlight event in college wrestling and all these other events are kind of obscure? I think it just comes down to the reality is college wrestling is not a very fan-friendly sport. And when I say that, I don't mean it in a super negative way. It's such a complex thing. There's so many rules that are constantly changing that, people want to watch it, but there's just a barrier of entry there, right? So you're not going to have a lot of casual fans watching throughout the year, but because of the spectacle that we're talking about, right? When you get to the final stage, that's when people are tuning in because, it's the end all be all, right? So, college wrestling has a lot of work to do in terms of just being more respected and being more relatable to just regular people because it's harder to watch than football, American football, baseball, and all those other sports.
Do you think it's because it can get slow at times? Like my brother made states here in Pennsylvania, which is it's pretty fucking tough. It's hard to be the top 16 dudes in Pennsylvania. And my brother was what I would call I love my brother to death. He's the best dude. But he was a slow wrestler. He won more 4-2, 3-1, 2-1 matches than anybody. And he would make it look like he was trying to do shit without ever exposing himself to anything that could really make him lose the match. And it would be slow at times. And if you didn't love him like family, you could look at him and be like, this is boring. Do you feel like that's part of it because it gets slow? And guys, listen, I appreciate a guy. Oh, God, here's your soundbite, Price. I appreciate a guy controlling another guy from the top. I really do. I love when he's really giving it to him. I love when he's giving it to him. And he's just dominating this dude. And this dude knows this guy is better than him. Yeah, whatever, all that shit. But, like, these guys, it can get slow at times. You think it's maybe we're Americans. We have the attention span of gnats. We like home runs, slam dunks, knockouts, and touchdowns. A strategic match, I want to see somebody knock somebody unconscious. Do you think because it gets a little slower? Is that what what is so different about the NCAA finals? That people go nuts, but they don't pay attention. I don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. And, what I think is, you have freestyle wrestling in Europe. I'm sure you guys are familiar, right? The main difference with freestyle and folk style, what we wrestle here in the U.S., is that freestyle rewards you for doing high action moves. Like, if you go feet to back, you score 4 points instead of 3, which is the, takedown points that you have now in college wrestling. College wrestling, like you said, is more about just being dominant, being in control, and just, being aggressive. Meanwhile, freestyle wrestling rewards you for making wrestling more of an art rather than just a battle of wills, so to speak, right? So, I feel like for a casual fan, like it's hard to watch the strategic game planning that you were watching with your brother because not only do you not know what's going on, there's also not much happening, right? But we have a low attention span and we want to see electric things happen, and that's why folk style wrestling is where it is, I feel like. And there's definitely been growth in the last 10 years. But Price, I mean, you mentioned Wells Fargo and how you think you wouldn't be able to see that 10 years ago. 10 years ago, my dad took me to the NCAA finals in Madison Square Garden. We're from New York. And it was, I'll tell you what, I was 13, 14 at the time.
MSG, woo!
MSG, baby. That was probably one of the best memories I had in my life.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
You know who I got to see? You know who I got to see wrestle and actually lose? Bo Nickel. You ever watch that?
No shit. He's so good. He's so good. He can win by whatever way he wants.
Yeah, Bo Nickel lost in the NCAA finals. He was wrestling a guy named Miles Martin from Ohio State. Gets thrown
and he pinned him the following year. Yeah.
You remember that, right? Yeah.
YouTube the fuck out of that. Yes.
Dude, that
YouTube's the
Now,
fuck out of that.
Let me ask you this: every year the finals is kind of like in a destination, anyways. So it really you're not taking.
It's like the Super Bowl. It moves around. It's like the Super Bowl.
I just again from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
I was unaware that 10 years ago the national finals for the NCAA wrestling championship was held at Madison Square Garden. That's a big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? But to me, as like an outside, like he said, it's very with the fan base. I was outside looking in. There wasn't flow grappling. I didn't pay attention to what the fuck was going on. There wasn't the growth of the sport now. So the finals might still been a spectacle 10 years ago. I just feel like they're a bigger spectacle than they were. And it just shows the growth of the sport from where you went and watched it at MSG 10 years ago to kind of where it is now. You know, I got a couple minutes that I got to run, but you got programs like CFFC out here on Fight Pass that are doing match day wrestling. So they're shining some light on it. You know, guys like Bo Nickel, Jordan Burroughs, you know, there's more prominent wrestlers that have been able to come up through now and break through that barrier and become general household names. You know what I'm saying? Outside the MMA community, who the fuck knows Henry Cejudo wrestled at the Olympics other than somebody that really pays attention to the Olympics? Really nobody.
Listen, these guys that I'm going to see wrestle, they would go through fucking hell to win this shit. It's important. It's such a big thing to them. And they're all so talented in like, there can only be one, you know, there's only one guy. So for Bo Nickel to do it is like he did it and pin Miles Martin next year. And I think he won 3, correct? He won 3 national titles. That was a guy who tasted the dick of losing in his mouth and said, I will never feel like that again. And just decided that was never going to happen again. That was the worst feeling in the world. And it will never, I will do anything. The dick of losing. Losing sucks. It's the worst fucking thing in the world. It's up there with dieting. You diet, which is horrible. And then you lose. Yeah. It's a bad deal all around. So that's why winning is so important. And this guy just decided that was a horrible thing. Why don't we just do all that and win? And the guy figured it the fuck out. Bo Nickel's very good. Very good.
Well,
and he will just win whatever way he wants.
If you guys are enjoying this NCAA wrestling conversation,
love NCAA wrestling.
Fortunately for you, NCAA double wrestling, Baby Jeff's going to be doing some NCAA wrestling. So when you have some free time, Bill, when you have some free time, Bill, we can get you guys together and you guys can talk wrestling for a fucking hour, preferably while you're sober. But if you're drunk, it's okay too.
We can do it.
Yeah, you guys can do a drinking show and just talk about.
No. We're not wrecking Baby Jeff's career. We're not wrecking Baby Jeff's career. It's not gonna happen. We will protect Baby Jeff.
Appreciate that.
Before we digress any further, and I try and close the show one more time like we did last week. It took us 6 times to get the show closed. We appreciate you guys. You know where to find us. Website coming soon. Way easier to find us. CheckmateMMA.com. Custom sound bites, custom shirts. You might have T-shirts like that say "This is not a gambling show." The dick of losing.
Gambling show.
And as heard by our friend Bill Bookwalter, Young Lions coming. No, we'll let you guys go. More wrestling stuff coming soon, Baby Jeff. We're gonna be able to. It's stuck now, bro. You guys did it. And
might as well. There's nothing I can do now. I'm not gonna argue it.
We say,
it's not the nickname.
Come and interview you, and he's 6'5". He's got cauliflowers.
It's not the nickname you wanted. It's the nickname you needed, Baby Jeff. Youngest guy that's ever lived. Youngest guy that's ever lived in the show.
Uncle Bill might not tell you what you want to hear, but he's going to tell you what you need to hear.
Just getting started.
All right. Hey, if you like the wrestling content, what I was trying to get to before Bill interrupted me twice. If you like the wrestling content, Baby Jeff's going to be hanging around. We're going to be doing some strictly NCAA wrestling. We're going to bring you guys some stories. Just like the UFC tells you stories of the fighters, we want to start telling you stories of these wrestlers, especially if these guys are going to be getting into MMA, because they're going to be names that you should probably be paying attention to.
Baby Jeff.
Baby Jeff.
Baby Jeff.
Tie it in. We appreciate Jeff coming. As always, we appreciate Big Difference Bill Bookwalter, Big Dick Bill Bookwalter, depending on what day of the week it is. Is that how long the dick of losing is? Is that we don't sometimes?
Oh no, dick. Move the phone away. The dick of losing is like it's a horrible. It's a bad feeling.
As long as it stays over 6 inches, you're good to go. I mean, that's the minimum, right?
It's not the size, guys. It's how you use it. Anyways,
getting fucked with the long dick of losing sucks. It's horrible to lose in front of everybody you love.
You gotta put that on the shirt. You got to put that quote on the shirt.
It's cool. It's going on a shirt. Jeff, I'll see you in the chat. Bill, I'll see you in the other chat.
Yeah, appreciate
So
it.
guys.
Next week, which will be, by the way, Bill. Bill's working overnight next week, so we're gonna have to crew carry on. But next week's our 75th episode, Bill. Not counting watch parties and extra shit.
Hey, Baby Jeff knows how to communicate with people and like handle conversation. Baby Jeff would be a good interviewer, man. Like for real.
That's why we gave him some reps. We're gonna do. I'm telling you guys, wrestling content, NCAA wrestling content. Check me.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
I got some good guys coming.
Let's go. Let's go.
Another great gay soundbite from Baby Jeff. He's got some guys coming. That goes right along with Bill's Young Lions coming. That's great.
Baby Jeff Garrett's so good at this. He will take the words you say and twist them up and make it sound dirty. And it's not dirty. Like,
there was a time Bill said that Uncle Bill's going to tell you what that, and he said it or whatever live on the show, and before the end of the episode, we had it on the soundboard. So no.
Look, listen,
Bill likes to think the most technologically advanced person in the world, but actually,
he's genius.
It is what it is.
He knows how to post videos to TikTok. Like, who even knows how to do that? Like, apparently he's cracked the code. He's cracked the code.
Do you have any kids that can teach you how to use TikTok?
See you guys next week. Fight Show
I don't.
75.
Bye, Garrett. I do. I have 3 girls, and they're brilliant and graduating college. I don't want to learn, so.